All right, it is 7 o'clock, which means it's time for Toolbox Tuesday, our weekly webinar series where we help put tools in your toolbox to pound out problems and sharpen your saw. Tonight, we are going back and revisiting moments of truth. And we're going to be doing fellowship, variety, and communication. And this is an integral part of having a quality club and a successful meeting. Our presenter tonight is past district governor, distinguished Toastmaster, Stephen Shaner. And I'm really looking forward to Stephen's presentation because he always comes ready to give us great information. Stephen, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Hi, everyone. Greetings from, I want to say, the frozen Northland up here. I'm talking to you from Superior, Wisconsin. As you can see, it's currently 20 below. The wind chill is 48 below, and expect that to drop even more as the night goes on. We'll see what the morning brings. Let's talk about moments of truth. I'm going to first start with, let me find, here it is. All right. What is a moment of truth? Think about that for a sec while I load this up. What do you think that means, especially from a Toastmasters standpoint? So here's what we mean. A moment of truth is an episode where a person comes in contact with any aspect of the Toastmasters experience and forms an impression of the club's quality and service. So a moment of truth, any episode where a person comes in contact. So this can be your club meeting. This could be your website. This could be any social media that you are doing. These are emails, these are invitations, these are flyers. Pretty much anything you do in Toastmasters can be a moment of truth. Walking down the street, if I'm wearing my Toastmasters pin and somebody comes up and asks me, what is that all about? That little 2-minute speech is a moment of truth. So we have these moments of truth every day. And again, whether it's in the meeting, whether they're visiting our website, whatever it may be, even if they're visiting the Toastmasters International website, these are all very important types of things. So we think about this and the effect that what we're doing has on potential members, guests, those types of things. High level, there are 6 categories within the moments of truth. There are first impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, variety, and communication, which will be our focus here this evening. Program planning and meeting organization. And when I talk about variety, some of what I'm going to be talking about tonight will certainly fit into the program planning aspect of moments of truth as well. And achievement recognition. And then each of these 6 are broken down into 6 points underneath each of those as well. So I'm going to skip through first impressions. We've done that already. Membership orientation. And then here's our fellowship, variety, and communication. So the first point, guests are greeted warmly. So think about that in your own club. How do you greet your guests? Are they met at the door? Do they come in, they sit down, and then finally somebody gets over and says hi to them? How do you do that? At the beginning of the meeting, are they given the opportunity to introduce themselves? Ask them just very simply, we have a guest, please introduce yourself, tell us why you're here. Give them a minute to just get them, say, my name is so-and-so, and I'm here because my friend Stephen brought me today, or because my boss told me I need to be here, whatever it is, but give them the opportunity to tell a little bit about themselves. And it also gives us the opportunity then to make, we're paying attention to them and what their particular needs might be and why they are there. So we want to make sure and highlight that as we go through the meeting. One of my past clubs actually has a greeter role. So we've got all the roles in our meeting. We've got the Toastmaster, General Evaluator, et cetera. They have a greeter role. And that person's role is to sit with guests and explain what's going on during the meeting. Okay, now is the speech portion of the program. Now is the evaluation portion of the program. They just kind of explain what all the different roles are and what people are doing. So it's a great idea. It's not something you have to do, but we want to make sure that our guests are greeted warmly. And in addition to that, at the end of the meeting, give them an opportunity to talk about what they saw, what they felt, what they heard, And what did you think of our meeting today? And always make sure you ask them to join. There's no pressure here. Just something as simple as, thank you so much for joining us today. We would love to become a member of our club and join our family. Keep it simple. There's no pressure sales here in Toastmasters. So guests are greeted warmly. And if anybody has any ideas on this, want to jump in, Dave, if you could maybe watch for some hands coming up and see if anybody has any questions or comments they'd like to make at this point. All right, we'll move on. Enjoyable educational meetings. I find it interesting that they put enjoyable first. Of course, we always want our meetings educational. I find that all the meetings I go to are educational, but I go into them with that attitude. I go into all of my meetings, I go into every book, I go into every seminar, whatever it is, I go in with that attitude of, I'm going to learn something today. And I always do because of that. But enjoyable. We talked about this thing called variety. How do we variety? In a meeting with Mike Storkey years ago, where this was before he was our international president. And he made a comment about the vast majority of Toastmasters are not getting the full benefit of what Toastmasters has to offer. He was primarily talking about all the opportunities outside of the club. We really have so many wonderful opportunities outside of the club, but what he was also talking about, and we heard Balraj say a little bit about this as well at the convention last year, is that sometimes we're just kind of going through the motions in our meetings. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we usually have the same layout in the meetings as far as the agenda. We usually do those same types of things, but we have such freedom to be able to get some variety. And I'm going to back out of here for a second. And I'm going to pull up this document. I pulled this up, wrong one. And what it is, I pulled it off the District 6 website. It's an older document and it needs to be updated, but it's called the D6TM Cookbook, District 6 Toastmasters Club Programming Idea Cookbook. I don't know if they still have it out on their website. As you can see, it hasn't been updated since 2008, but it's 40 pages and it's just got some incredible ideas on how to add variety to your club, different types of themes. And this, I'm just going through the table of contents. So it talks about the mission, and those, of course, have changed since 2008. Toastmasters Promise, getting the most out of your club, learn by doing, you're among friends, elements of an effective club. And I really like this. Club off, dedicated and effective, very important. Club programs are well planned and well executed. And we talk about quality clubs all the time. And the club places high emphasis on educational development, so we're focused on the member, very important. Meetings are varied, dynamic, and enjoyable. Members receive positive support. Club attracts and retains new members. These are all moments of truth type things. So then they go through all kinds of different types of putting fun in your meeting. Audience swap, there's an idea. So these are all different ideas on things you can do in your meetings. Brighter tomorrow, think happy, tomorrow will be better. A box social meeting, celebrity wing it day, a defense plea. So you plan a courtroom with judge, lawyers, and appropriate setting. That sounds like fun. I want to be the judge. Theme setting, table topics, speeches, exaggeration, a liar's theme, interesting. Red tape meeting. So there's just idea after idea after idea on how we can add variety to our meetings. Abstinence topics, altered headlines topics. That could be fun. Baby picture topics. Continuous story. Begin a story and ask topics participants to continue it. The last line used by each participant is the first one used by the next participant. We have done that before. It's been fun. The diplomat, emotional topics, just all kinds of ideas. So I just wanted to share this. I think that is out there. If you go to d6tm.org and you can do a search on cookbook, you'll find this document. If you can't find it, let me know. I do have this copy and I can get it sent to you. So you can also go out and Google Toastmasters meeting ideas, and you'll find literally dozens of clubs out there that post their meeting themes that they've had in the past or meeting theme ideas. It's unlimited how many different things you can find out there. But that's one of the things we can do to add some variety to it. Let me go back. Okay, so enjoyable educational meetings. Make them enjoyable. Have fun. And again, don't just go through the motions each week. Look for ways to make it more fun, add some humor, do some different types of things and make them. But most of all, you know, of course, we want to make sure our meetings are educational. Here at the end of the year, my home club, we did a reverse meeting. Been to a few of these. And basically what you do is you start by adjourning the meeting, and you, in essence, you do the whole meeting backwards. So the evaluations come first. And it's amazing to me. I watch these and how accurate those evaluations can be, even though we haven't heard the speech yet, but we are familiar with the speaker and we can come up with some pretty good evaluation. Table topics is fun because we get to answer the questions before we hear the questions. So the whole meeting is run backwards, and it's something we don't do it all the time, but maybe about once a year or something, just to break things up, have a little bit of fun. And we usually do it the last meeting of the calendar year, so it's the last meeting in December. We usually have a lower turnout during that meeting, so we just decide we're going to have a little bit of fun that day. So it's fun, and we still learn. It's amazing, even though we're doing things kind of out of order and kind of more to have the fun in the meeting. We do learn some things there. Regularly scheduled social events. Some clubs do this well, some clubs don't bother. I know of one club that I was in, about the only social event they had was they would do a holiday party, usually in January after the busyness of the holidays. They meet for summer barbecues. Sometimes the officers meet for a dinner or a lunch. There's all kinds of things you can do to have regularly scheduled social events. And why is that important? I'll compare that to something I do in my office. Once a week, I let the people that work for me have their own team meeting. And they get to decide the agenda. They get to decide what they do. They have invited me. I generally don't go unless they come up and say, hey, we'd really like you to be there today. And they play games. They do pretty much whatever they want for that hour a week. And why is that important? Because they get to know each other outside of this working relationship that they have between each other. And that is so important in team building. Accomplishing things that you want to accomplish is getting to know each other on a more personal basis. And that's where the social events are nice. If you go out with some of your Toastmasters friends or the whole club and you're doing a party, some clubs at the end of the Toastmasters year, that being it's a social gathering. They bring food, they bring cake, and they celebrate the accomplishments they had for the year. So, and I really would like to hear some feedback from all of you. What kind of regularly scheduled social events do you participate in with your club? If you have anything, raise your hand. Dave, keep an eye out for that. Nothing. It's a shy group tonight. You guys should consider joining Toastmasters, but bring that shyness right out of you. Participation in area, district, and international events. It is hard. It's so hard.
Stephen, we did get a response here.
Okay, let's bring that on.
We got a response from Joanna Carley, and she said our club does a golf outing during summer solstice. So if you're looking for a golf event, check out Joanna's club.
So do I have to join her club to participate, or are non-club members welcome to do that too?
She says you do not have to participate. So.
All right, I would certainly like to participate in that. So
okay. And we've got a hand. So Debbie, Debbie, you can unmute yourself.
Our club does a bike ride occasionally. We have an avid biker in our group. We do bike rides occasionally, maybe 3 times a year. Very
nice. Very nice. Thanks so much for sharing that. Yeah, golf outings, bike rides. I mean, it's unlimited. I think of the things I love to golf. And so if there's opportunities for me to go out with other Toastmasters and golf, I'm going to take it. So one of the things, our fall conference, when we always had it up at Sugar Lake, or the times we had it at Sugar Lake, we had that whole resort to ourselves, which was great, including the golf course. So we could go up there and play golf, and they didn't charge us anything for that. So it was kind of nice to have that. But yeah, it's wide open. Social events, anything that you're doing that's a social event that you normally do, share it with your fellow Toastmasters, invite them along. All kinds of things you can do there. So thanks for sharing those ideas. Those are great. Go back to participation in area, district, and international events. I used to say that if we can get somebody to a TLI or to a district convention or conference, they'll be hooked. It's just getting them there. That's the difficult part. And case in point, I originally joined Toastmasters with my boss, and some of you know who Dwayne Noto is. And for quite a few years, I tried to get him to attend a TLI. And he was like, he'd think about it, but he never did. Well, finally, I got him to a TLI. He was so excited when he went to that TLI. It was on a Saturday. The following Monday was when that club met, and he called me Monday morning. He said, "What are you doing at lunchtime?" I said, "I have nothing planned." He says, "Can I conference you in to our Toastmasters meeting?" Because I was up here in Duluth. He's down in Bloomington. I said, "Sure." He was giving a speech on his experience from the TLI that Saturday. And the energy and the passion that he had just from that one event was amazing. And he went on to be an area governor of the year that he was area governor. He's been the district photographer. He is now, I believe he's the pathways guide or the head pathways person for District 6 now. So one televisit and this is for him opened up, and he's just been highly involved in pretty much everything the district has done, and he's had a blast doing it. So if we can get people to these activities outside of the club, the area, the area contests, anything that the area has going on, district level. And if you've never been to an international convention, it's an amazing experience, and it's really Toastmasters on steroids. And if any of your people are attending these events, when they get back to the club, make sure they share their experiences and build that excitement for other people. It's a great way to learn. Every one of those events I go to, I learn all kinds of things. So attend them. Please attend them. And if anybody in your club is attending them, make sure they're given a full report when they get back. It's important for people to hear what's going on and to hear that excitement that they get from these events. So, anybody like to share any stories they've had from attending a district level or area level or international event? I see Ralph raise his hand.
Okay, yeah, I went to my first TLI this past summer, and I had the same experience. I came back all wound up, and I'm the president of our club this year, and it's been fun to take my list of things I learned at that meeting or that weekend and go for it.
Oh, good for you, and congratulations on being elected president. That's awesome, and thanks for sharing. And I hear that all the time. When people finally make it to one of those district level events, they get pretty excited, and they're like, I'm not going to miss that one next time. So I went to my first tele. I joined on a Monday, and there's a tele that Saturday. And I went to my first TLI that Saturday and just had a blast. And then when the next one came, I heard about it and missed it. And when I found out it had happened, I was like, what happened here? And I went to my club president and I said, there was a TLI. She goes, yeah. She says, I didn't think anybody cared about that kind of stuff, so I didn't tell anybody. So if you're a club officer and you get that information, share it with every member of your club and encourage them to attend these events because they are a lot of fun. They're educational. And Ralph, you got some more to say?
Yeah, I'd just like to add something. I think one of the reasons that it is really fun to go to, it's kind of like conferences in the professional world. I went to many things over my years working that were similar format, very similar format. But what's exciting is you get to choose the subjects you want to go attend while you're there because there's so many things going on. And then the element of passion and excitement that the speakers have, you can't help from walk away from there without feeling something wonderful, moving on, going home and planning what you're going to do next with your own club.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So, Dave, this is your opportunity to promote an event you might have coming up in April, I believe it is.
Yes, in April, we've got a big event. On April 27th, we are having our spring conference. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go out and visit a spring conference, it is a all-day event. We're going to be there all day Saturday. We've got a speech contest in the morning, then we have a lunch program, then we have some speakers in the afternoon. We're actually being visited by our international director for Region 4. Some of you may know him. Larry Merrick is our international director. And so we're interested in hearing what Larry's got to tell us. And then in the evening, we're going to have another speech contest, and it'll be a great time. So more information soon.
All right, thanks, Dave. So there's an opportunity. And of course, we've got speech contest season coming up. There's going to be area speech contests. Participate. Go, even if you're not competing or you have no interest in competing, go participate. We can always use help at those events. We need judges. We need ballot counters. We need timers. We need sergeant arms. We need help in those, and they are a lot of fun. So please consider getting out and meeting some other Toastmasters and seeing what's going on out there. Same way at the division level. We'll be having division contests coming up, and we can use help there too. So lots of opportunities to participate in area, district, and the international events. I've been to 8 international conventions, and every time I go to one, it's better than the last. That opportunity, do it. It's worth the trip. It really is. So I know we've got Denver coming up this year, and then Paris the year after that, and then Nashville the year after that, and then San Antonio the year after that. So got some opportunities to attend those. Interclub events. First interclub event I ever attended, I was a member of a club called Crest of the Hill down in the Twin Cities, and they were a leadership club. And we teamed up every now and then with another leadership club, and I don't recall the name of it, unfortunately, but we would combine our meetings a couple of times a year. So we'd have some people from both clubs then doing some of the roles within the meeting, and they were a lot of fun. Again, it gets us out of that, doing the same thing over and over again. Now we're meeting with another club. There's a whole bunch, more people there, more ideas, different speakers, and those were a lot of fun. We can do the same things here. Pair up with, say, hey, let's do a combined meeting sometime, and do those types of things. Other than clubs events, you can have, speech-a-thons, get together with some other clubs, do speech-a-thons. You could even do some of those social events. If you're going on that bike ride or the golf outing, I'm glad to hear that your golf outing is not just for your club members and you're inviting other people. So up here, we don't have that many social, but I think we certainly need to look for more of those types of things that we can do up here. I know we've done some golf outings up in Thunder Bay. I haven't made any of those yet, but maybe this will be the year. We'll see how it goes. But again, if you got an event plan, consider inviting members from other clubs in your area, or have some sister clubs. If this club is doing something, then let this other club come over and join you. And then when that other club does something, you go join them. So look for those opportunities, especially if you're local. It gives you an opportunity to have a full house, a couple of times a year, to have a whole bunch of people. It's a lot of fun. Anybody have any other thoughts on interclub events, things you're doing? All right, let's move on here. Let's see. Club newsletter and or website updated regularly. Can you see how usually the club newsletter is mostly shared with your members. Sometimes they were included in a guest packet. But can you see how your website is most definitely a moment of truth for people that are looking for you? If they go out to the Toastmasters International website and they do find a club and they put in a zip code and your club comes up, there's a link there that goes to your website if you have a website. So if they click on that, what are they going to find? When I first moved up here, Superior, I live a block away from the technical college. And I found out that there was a club that met at the technical college. Like, okay, that's close. So I went on the TI site and I got their information and found out they were meeting on Wednesday night. So I had a Wednesday night free. So I walked down there and couldn't find them with the information booth. They said, oh, they're meeting on Mondays now. It's like, okay. So, and I had gotten the information that week off of the TI site. So it was a couple months later, I had a Monday free. So I checked and it said Mondays. So they did update it to say Mondays. And I went down there and no, they're back on Wednesdays. And then a few months later, I went back on a Wednesday and they were then meeting on Tuesdays. And then it was a few months after that, they actually contacted me and they said, we're folding the club. We got a whole bunch of supplies. Would you like to have them? I said, sure. They said, well, our last meeting is next Wednesday. Can you come over and pick this stuff up? I said, sure. So I went over on Wednesday night and they had met on Tuesday. So they had folded. I'm not surprised. Nobody could find them. At least I couldn't. But so please don't do that. Keep your website up to date. Have some fresh information up there all the time. And if you're doing a newsletter, some clubs are still doing newsletter. Most are focusing on websites and social media nowadays. But if you're doing a newsletter, have fun with it and make sure it's regular and it's consistent. But please keep your website updated. And your website should be your source of truth. Okay, the things that are going on in your club, when you're meeting, what's going on, that's where you want people to go, to your website. So if you're doing social media, your social media efforts should be pointing people to your website. Okay, that's what corporations do. That's what successful corporations do. All their social media activities get people to go to their website. So keep that website up to date and point people there. That should be your source of truth. So I'd like to hear some feedback from you guys. What are you doing with newsletters, sites? What's working? Where have you struggled? What's going on with those things?
All right. Ralph?
Okay, we have a person that's doing newsletters, and she is able to attend 3 or 4 meetings. And on the one she can't, she is hoping somebody else gives her enough information to publish something about a meeting.
Mhm.
But the problem we're having with what she's doing right now is the newsletters are late. It could be a month after the meeting took place. And so I'm working on getting that changed. I'd like to do some more things on our website. I think it's pretty current what it is right now, but we need somebody that's more focused on that. So I appreciate you encouraging us to do that.
Sure. Yeah, and keep it simple. Whatever you're doing, just keep it simple so it's it's easy to maintain. So when you say newsletter, are you talking newsletter? Or are you talking meeting minutes or?
More or less meeting minutes, and then it
Okay.
includes some special events coming up.
Sure.
Things like
Sure. Okay. Good. Yeah, and as far as that, if she's not going to make a meeting, then she should delegate somebody to take those minutes for her and get them back to her right away, so you don't have any delays. Or make an arrangement with the club president or somebody. If I'm not there, please do this for me, so that she doesn't have to hope somebody does.
All right. Nancy, you had something?
No, I just asked if, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have unmuted it, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hi, Nancy. Okay, any further questions on these 6 points in the fellowship, variety, and communication? All right, what I also wanted to share, a couple of things. I think I've got them up here. Here already. Your club. Okay, it looks like this. So it's a Moments of Truth worksheet, and then you have a score. We never meet this standard. We rarely meet this standard. We sometimes meet this standard. We usually meet this, or we always. And then you allow your club members to go ahead and rate you in, here's first impressions, membership orientation, the fellowship, variety, and communication. So those 6 points that we just covered, along with the 6 points in each of the other, we're going to get the feedbacks from the members to see how we're doing on the Moments of Truth. And then what I have done in the past, and this is one we did last year at the Xena City, we had 11 people respond to the survey. So that's the 1 through 11. They were anonymous, so we don't know who gave us what. Okay. So we went through the first impressions, the 6 points, and I put in the rating that everybody gave us, and then I did an average over here. And I did that with all of these. So anything that was 4 or above got a green. So those are the things we seem to be doing well. Anything that was between 3 and 4 got a yellow. And anything that was below 3 got a red. So we had 1 red. Okay, so then we went back to the club and we looked at all of these, and we looked at this red one, it's the progress charts displayed and maintained. As a club, they decided this doesn't add any value for us. Now, other clubs may decide value, we want to do that, but our club decided it wasn't important. So what we did then is we looked at the ones that were yellow, okay, and we picked two. We said, okay, these are what we're going to work on this year. Okay, and one of them was the learning needs assessed. We felt that was important. And we talked about this one. We decided not to do anything at this time. And then the other, this one here, the regular membership building programs. So those are the two we focused on. We're doing the regular membership building programs now, and we're working on those. So that's my suggestion is when you do this and you get these, please don't try and do all of these. Pick one or two that's going to add the most value for your club and focus on those. And then then do moments of truth again and see where, make sure you're staying high on the things that you did well at, and then, pick a couple on for a few months. And I got to tell you, this is going to be an eye-opener for you, because the things that I thought we were doing okay on, the club members marked us low, and vice versa. There were things I didn't think we were doing such a good job, but the members felt we were. So it's not just what I think the club is doing, it's what all of our members, and that's why this is such an important program. It really gives us an opportunity to evaluate, what it is we're doing as a club and some areas where we can make some improvements. So any questions on that part of it? Crickets. Nobody.
You must be, oh, Ralph.
That one.
Yeah, just a quick question. Where do we get this Moments of Truth document?
Oh, great question. Thanks for, you're talking about this one here I'm showing?
Well, I can create that, but
yeah, I just did this one in Excel. The Moments of Truth stuff, if you go out to the Toastmasters.org and you do a search on Moments of Truth, you can download the entire program, and it'll give you a coordinator's guide, a book on how to do the program. It'll give you that the survey page. It'll give you everything you need to run this program successfully.
Thank you.
I've seen it done several different ways. The way I like was actually the first time I saw it done, and we dedicated a whole meeting to it. So we had a presentation about what Moments of Truth was. We went through the 36 points. We passed out the survey. Everybody took it. We got them back. We figured out what the numbers were. And as a club, we discussed where we wanted to focus our time. And it was all done in one meeting. I've seen some clubs will email out the survey, collect them, and then do it that way. I've seen clubs do, they'll do it in one meeting where they'll introduce it, they'll pass out the survey, then they'll collect the surveys over a couple of weeks, and then somebody will analyze it, and they'll come back and say, okay, here's where we're at, what are we going to work on? So you can do this program. But you can download everything from TI at no cost.
Hey, Ralph, what we will do is when we post this video, we'll also with that, we'll post a link to the TI website where you can find this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nancy, did you have something?
Yes, I have a question now. This spreadsheet that Stephen created, is that something that clubs could use just to plug in their own numbers?
Sure. I can,
Sending it to...
yeah, what I can do is I can get rid of the colors, I can get rid of the numbers. All the formulas will be here. Dave, I'll send that to you, and then if you want to post that out on the District 106 website, that'll be available.
Absolutely. It'll be posted alongside with this video on the same location as this video.
Okay, thank you.
That's pretty much what I had for this evening. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for everything that you do as a club officer, as a Toastmasters member, and always remember we're here to serve everybody else. And thank you for your feedback tonight. I always love getting feedback. I love hearing new ideas, and you guys have shared some things that I didn't know about. So I learned something here tonight too. And that's another thing I love about this organization is I'm always learning. Thank you for your time. And Dave, thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Well, Stephen, as long as we're thank you for coming out and sharing all these great ideas with us, and we'll get this stuff bundled up What I'm going to post on the website is the District 6 cookbook, which you mentioned earlier. So we'll put a link up for that.
You might want to assign somebody to maybe update that one with some new information.
We really should.
Program, yeah. So,
We really should.
Yeah.
But until we get it updated, we'll
yeah, at least
put a
get
link
it out
to
there.
the original.
It's a great resource.
And then your spreadsheet we'll also put up there.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing, and to all the officers who logged on tonight to help serve your clubs better. I want to thank you for making that commitment to serve others. It's been a great presentation. This has been Toolbox Tuesday. Next week, I almost forgot to plug next week's talk. Next week, we're going to have Joanna Carley is going to be doing a presentation on the power of recognition, and that is the title. You'll want to tune in for that one. That is a really powerful tool, and you'll learn all about it next week. This has been Toolbox Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Thanks.